The military may owe you some money and you don't even know it. Tens of thousands of current and former service members are eligible for a retroactive stop-loss special pay compensation. Staff Sergeant Brian Buckwalter has details.
In the early stages of a conflict, Defense Department officials say the use of stop-loss is an important authority to have. But now, even more than 8 years after the war in Afghanistan began, they say stop-loss is still needed.
In this case, we've been frustrated in our attempts to minimize stop-loss because of the persistent nature of the conflict and the dynamic nature of the conflict. We are committed to ending stop-losses.
Now the Defense Department has announced many of the service members who've been affected by stop-loss will be getting extra pay through the 2009 War Supplemental Appropriation Act. Samuel Rutherford is the director of the Officer and Enlisted Policy Management Branch.
If you were extended past your contractual obligation, your enlistment contract, past a resignation, or past a retirement date, and you must have served honorably or discharged honorably, and you can be, like I said, a survivor.
Current and former service members will receive $500 for each month they were held. The stop-loss must have taken place between September 11, 2001 and September 30, 2009. It's estimated 185,000 people are eligible.
You will have to submit an application to your respective service, your former service. The reason for the application is that record keeping varied across the services and it was very inconsistent. So we're reaching out. You'll have to submit an application. Each of the military departments will have criteria on websites and on public affairs announcements soliciting those applications.
Mr. Rutherford says it's important to act fast. The deadline to file a claim is October 21st of next year. Marine Staff Sergeant Brian Buckwalter, Pentagon Channel News.
Defense Secretary Robert Gates is scheduled to meet with his South Korean counterparts Thursday. Petty Officer Christina Moore has the latest.
At a town hall meeting Wednesday in the Republic of Korea, Secretary Gates said America will work with its partners and allies for a complete and verifiable drawdown of nuclear weapons in North Korea. America's long-term commitment in the Republic of Korea, he said, recognizes the danger the North Korean regime poses on the Korean Peninsula.
Developments that threaten not just the peninsula, but the Pacific Rim and international stability as well. There should be no mistaking that we do not today, nor will we ever, accept a North Korea with nuclear weapons.
Secretary Gates emphasized the U.S. will use the full range of its military might to provide extended deterrence of nuclear weapons, but he also said North Korea's spread of nuclear know-how is also a concern.
I also think North Korea is a serious proliferation threat. Everything they make, they seem to be willing to sell.
Secretary Gates also said the alliance of Republic of Korea and American armed forces is as strong and necessary as ever. He said the U.S. will keep an enduring and capable military presence on the Korean Peninsula. Reporting from the Pentagon, I'm Petty Officer Christina Moore.
The Secretary's trip comes on the heels of Admiral Mike Mullen's visit to Korea Wednesday. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs met with his counterpart for their annual security talks concerning North Korea and other issues affecting the peninsula. Coming up next, scary swim. See how a quick-thinking Marine stopped a tragedy in its tracks. But first, capitalizing on communications, how the Air Force is advancing the way it pushes knowledge.